I want to be the radio Pacis nere kalero mitoro me fama sine za Kristo liria manidria deka tilmodi na toka mane fezo tu na malia mirotita good morning Westnile nere ere radio Pacis kalero mitoro me fama sine za Kristo liria manidria rusi me member SUSO o dumodu imaimi karibu sega sizo tita for vler malia the people's voice or be ma oduko anduserudu alone wiki odene mburutsa dukanina robo imbaziri mavuti ande zwado wa mafusi ando sofuso di NRM flag bearer piodi ARUA city vile mia ma position maria ALIONZI Lawrence Dangote pie zwado ando samati erenga lua madri tidi ebiovo ngoniare tekenga eyonze mani dunia vawadera zwado iroloduleko erma manager tidi vile kan ko chairman tidi vile revene zwa vawada atene sa yekere maria milonga tia pera kalafenera toko aziraziam eritoito toko razem kalafaze toko aziritoito ina suari yarona bito digikora gaflera era eritoko norobina irezirna eritoiri dini at the introduction vawada chairman Mr. Danish totonisiba eneo via GRA karibu mirizwa voria adene zoro teborle endiri eri honorable ALIONZI Lawrence Dangote ngoa
ma ye
our fangere griko dimarba zuri abare midi da sidima bo as we talk about my first minute so zuma be diarse
our four minima mejizu darse
adene amatido de chairman city ala dinga be do honorable Messi ati di be very hectic. I'm pretty sure don't rangwa ametsa de ando alene ado hello gamadri
our four hectic will be an understatement when it comes to how this journey has been. Indira uduma ne fuzu tali room malia bana mazizo koyarse akina ndala our four femungu ne because amanda validore bazi 200 equal. I think my candidature in itself was very unprecedented. It was not the usual thing for a 25-year-old who had just come out of school a few years ago to run for mayoral position. In itself did not sit right with some people. And I can understand why they cast doubt on the candidature, because then this was not a normal thing that they were accustomed to. But luckily enough for me and the team, the candidature, age was not an issue in the candidature, but people focused on the ideas that were represented, the issues that they were. So yeah, it not tanirdi eliajer ne deria mbazazi isuki gatazi kindi akadibi ezinga makere university girl president ra akadi ezinga mokera akadi panvo kura betudi mo bi ezinga yidra road mayor kwa disia bana mukuma parente bia pale kona la kona zorsi ayo de yiduku yo obi moduko ere mungu moduko mungu kadimiri lombaza vuska mungu ndida atre ayo de so at the end of last year is when I came and started consultations. But of course, right from the onset, they set right in. Bazikenere mazo chako, bazikenere melde chako, kenere male masezi chako, ere maku chako, ere mokwata yo, ruwese gozi kine agumonzi. Kene vare kalengo bitisi wakema bagi duma reba mulu dedera safazene kovelene yo. So there were so many of those sentiments which I found to be petty, but I understood where they're coming from. So I throughout the campaign maybe they made defend on these issues, and I kept moving the public away that as far as leadership is concerned. And I was being quoted saying that iko garage gasino ko era mvu mali yako afatman leader provenere malene ko era mala masezi ko era mazone ko tere momi pia sibe kadra feri da area mavuti. So we set out, we started consulting, we started moving. One of the biggest challenges we faced, it has been the gap ya madra kweli reyo sendedri sare si politika madra mali ka mwangwazi mali ka to yonze yezu ni andu ndrile tekenga puri azimi mudu ade biara kwenza ngada yoko
aguazi ondra kidanzi ode iki yo sikefe risende enze yoko.
So it was a very huge challenge that to separate money from the message was a very huge challenge. But I think the challenge is this. You see, Mr. Moderator, democracy, just like any other thing, has fundamental principles. Among those fundamental principles is that the people decide who votes them and who leads them and how they are led. Now, this principle has a huge assumption that the people know the qualities of who should lead them, and the people know how they should lead, so they can evaluate the performance of the person who has been leading them.
Dengapuna bunu dileko from the Genesis tamindoyo nzeria itedi mbazo eni muzo mevo meni yoskene yokini mu imaditseme aruri madrierse mani rirse. And I want to go a little bit personal here awatefera because argument be vary is more like an uncle to you. That you are Dania candidate in Zone, and how have you been dealing with that?
If I am being absolutely honest, ya darori atamva ibipi sitamardo tsepi me arori yodandra bazadi matia isone pako. Erdim yo so pako bo be doki di me gata fe artote da ma dribi ya dizu pari next riani. Badi na approach rovna alomaiku temanda baba na approach di ma seriati. Badi di mu mavubo marira kana disa zo were izuri apre badi mu ibo amedo dieti. Tedinga pon medo ati kuro afudri incumbent role better azitinia eredere adaya Tony Pakuya, because that was the message. Basapini muzumabere. Yodima tia mane related is on the Paku. And I think Mamingi, Eric even Yolara, because there was Manzaki meetings Malia. So Eric Yolara, I will doke Kajari Layazio, then I will go ahead. So that is when we started moving. Now, after I told NBS that in democratic contestation, the relationship between the candidates is not important. Ekatwa de SUSO mo adrini aka adrini be aye alo atalo aka balo ndro. Yama paso zalo nyare sa aka agree kwa ga idea madre agam ni democracy. It is okay and healthy man paso zo mebe. Kana man zo adrini se da mo ve ama kwaso na seli arete. Da mo ve ama mebe ko. So I don't want us to make the relationship, because at the end of the day, all of us are related in a way. Amount of any Kwisa can be related because they look barani. But what we're doing is not what relationship each of us has. What relationship each of us has that is important. Now, ema layer mati pizuri then debate mini question mini zido pizuri. Suru madre gari bon Baraka. And the Baraka de ken dondo mingi. Yo bana yole ama relationship brother. Ale to be ma fiesi yo ama diako. Azika si fe yo ama der dakle. De ba lo de le afari yanenle. It sounds bad to some people. I think our relationship is inconsequential as far as this campaign is concerned. If akatadri baza di ile erete dakle afada mani ba lo ne to office de obi ni obi ben le repair ba lenia obi ben le afakan yo mala yo adarori yo andra gata ni fizuri agu andra bi pia do zama da so pako mbaga ndi muzuma vondo eri ndi muzuma madri gazo edi pasora edi govre bazo de amemo andra mitiziare agu yo andra so pako rosi agu ndi gozo vle borsi mi to de get step down ka de mas dan ron video ka de afamare si di garamusile kodidri muzubo erdim paso station ya aga de fasko dimu dile ya de leon zuru deli ya fara bedi nini anga dan ron video le. But I do not want I will not want people to make a political campaign an issue of age one issue of blood relationship, because that way we reduce it into something it is not supposed to be.
Okay.
It must stick and stay at the level of competition of ideas.
Now, process consultation Vlad Maria and Indra Ora, it's Indra and the school where the Makera NUP ma flag say. Of course, me posters as if we can reclaim a pass independent role. Now, this is switch and then Vlad Mudi. Amandre is that is all that's dale. The opportunity represented the Androdi. Sicily, been in switch is real area.
But for Indra ba barka ki studies. Emega tantadri amesudu di yoba NUP di beya. Eyo as Fedima senior ekokoya. Akodi di NUP na CS ya. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Eyo as mo me man tonze de ya kan kwangwaze NUP madronze ne yo. Ako NUP ni asibe egbe. Ako NUP ni asibe ayekora azina wal for feza yo be ri angiri. Asisele man NUP ni kuzu muzu NRM ni join so ovune man NUPC ayekoso kene ko. In fact, I prefer to someone who yo often pay me many person me ko the NRM me seminary me say in English it's better put, it's not a push away from many people but a pull into NRM. And the reason is this: feel the political dream alia me da gu yo pre one of the commentator karo come player ni agu mpra VP eresura ya soko ya bere to ya bazma panyo yare kan ku mi agu na epinene re. Now, I can't say over man your NUP the war up and pratoba could no. I'm not saying that the entire NUP is not a participant in the political field, but I'm saying in my case, I found myself not contributing as much as I ought to in my former political house.
I want to assume that you had a backlash.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I had a backlash after crossing. That was without a doubt. So, but I want to make the point of why I actually crossed. So the decision I made to cross into NRM was done so that I can contribute much more to the political arena. And I think this was proven when I won the NRM primary elections. This proved that I became more significant on the political arena in the national political field when I crossed into the NRM. And I think
because middle yours kalafe NRM blair in the perimine voting that's all Mariani.
But now I will not be responsible for your understanding of what I say. But I think everybody that seeks political office or for those that do it genuinely want to do so that they can actually leave a mark, they can make a contribution. So while you do your contestations, you seek the office and the color that can help you to make the most contribution. And for me, I found that to be NRM in my next journey of leadership, and hence I crossed. But backlash be at the other. Onumani ekos so that see, pereba kman semba modazu. Mrs. Gapman semwadi out carry toro alumalia to wili yasio mizani as oromidi adatani kana kuwasi ezonze zani. Anava badira anene yonzeko. Bali mabaribo anjanda anzo day and masini suzuri jozu kuyo amanda desu the opposition area matindra mi waro anya ven sandio mira na mira zoda si waro mi andro mioza NRM ngone roya da fima dira even though I don't agree with them, I understand them. I understand them. Iyo di ngangwar ima bari wendra yi badakaru ma uruma basu na kere santido wendra yi waro so ma understand advance dira imasini suwa desiare tedi yo afadinga me vindicate ipira afanga mupida kanza kuni moza mangbada disar ngada sani akanga mungu kanga fa ku office me ande bisura akazingeli ya luli baron ngimara is mvado za the under ya dafo. And I think many people are beginning to see that. But yes, there was a huge backlash. Mamingi andara ikosi mamingi andara ikosi ko, especially Anzi Odero andra mana matizu yibe oduma kere mana paso zo da sere adi e mamingi abuna andra ikosi ko yare pe sistema sine de andra clear mo zama di sere and mo bi nzama ndara de pinira ima bari vavenda ze mu dia iri da am the campaign bo ya daruri ma adi so ya daruri afa madri dia kan ko suruma pata manazo mariari ama challenge dia di mano ko yama du iru de ngbar ya na alioni abirini azena azoni ovone sota de pangbar ya de siariko bandu biri afana de maza korea pala londi ekadia de ba de chaba de midimidi ane metote afade metote madia afade maruo nyoka ke maponyo kala ngosia ane di madria na de ira ane di political scene Westnile yar dini ane di ARUA di dini ane di afamane sikir dini au di metote masri ALIONZI ruria aza koma koyo na disi best ya ingazu kala NRM vulers
Okay.
aru this is on mojazo.
Now a political journey mevlade by Biki Riobi Nra Akbar Hussein Godivlers, which instrument of power erodukone as in message mene pasere and politics study is highly commercialized. I believe Mamibe we all agree to that fact. Bishanga Manime financial journey Atigima Aliar Ibitengone because newspaper Marias have landed on budget. Politicians as people they have spent over billions of money as in the nyakuzi as in the my savings in Jozi mivle Ibitengonka.
Now odu mana izu mana anza mana azu ibe wore adi ombe sma paso me aroro se na mazo kana wani mi driazan afamin le timi tie de kato tibela ati mi tone kiko asle re alo mi chote kusiku send the campaign di ran zoro mevo yo and they were right odu amani ozo consultation yozo yozo ba wore ba zigi ba zo kimi send ka million turu to yo million turu alu yo mi zame sa send le mevo tia amon visitor ako we did not have the money. Odo man campaign di ozo tizurs ama maru bigis ama chindo ata erdimuta ama ata tirere bigis me dem very very ambambar siboria mutkara mana yo tizu weriyar mara tsamva zere ma taxi onzo vare kwazino tu taxi ko vado ya mojisu vare dia zi ini ma boss no fezuru ngenis etu sere dia moji ama odu nyo do were ama so uro sere vene ba erindi ma boss ma send ofezu eridi mutkara onzo inis ifene sa lo eridi do aziding eridi ma DPO do mungu bo nilo. So when you said this campaign has been hectic, the most hectic part was financial mobilization because we did not have the money. After was okay money, especially central division there sana ka remove video meto vote isu alone ko. So vote central division alfu waziri sande kokoro. Sande kokoro. Now so kajari yo sande di bi ade man challenge as waro. Yes kajari chele kajari da sande ni ada. Ba ko emaza. Uru skisa mu field ya ko bi na so sana na ada mavuyo. Amu field ya ko. Amedi side ama akwa masimo by, which is why I am humbled that amidst all these challenges baruri ganga pour le temva wariadi mamu office do bini karakuma bi NRM mabendera
de kapoda ba continue nenga di enda ba imasi ngone ari maria koro chaba grikuaz bane tsozo yo di ma titazo di yo send the is through writing proposals, bringing people to support adi diko myobi darare
SUSO ehuna buno gole atitene gozo go maria arenda budget ba budget amane bari amamure dawo aniki amasa dikisu nazo ba amasi ni baralsi ayo dikini ya mawura ba community kederne babo la ma gidika ndondo dikida maza ko ngoni pere bani nisu saz mala ni chomu field ya ko nda wole te nisu saz mami de komu field ya nipo data sender ya ulu komu nisu grikwa lu simungo nisu ni nisu da field and one ni so every day as nana map was looking at sender yang was ya by two bani as was not there but every time we look for something small we go to field we finish field and we come we kept doing that on every single day.
Okay.
Now just look here man net that fezo mate di mo campaign di rea and your death and the campaign di ata madri ni dinza su kuimaze marulu zudia vazi idi mingi madalo fenencha taro ini ba category ibi pia matike pana mariar vazi lema tia cosmos marazani isu watangazi kuruma dizile safa Kampala ere ma printing ke ya. Odu ala sana na tuna fiala kalto. Not out of abundance. Mas so sana evra sudo ro ma la alinya kali aron ko. Terenjal kalto recent. Vaziti adomi vane rune Patrick. Isungazi weria company azibemba zeres. Mbana mamzara cha milioni aloko. Wiki ni agalo na mata pesa ni alfu toro alo. Anji dale ifunga skulu waso de. Isunga ziko azubra isunga zie taganger madeli aloko. Listen de majebi ya weria denze amade sazu campaign di yeso. Amade zere matimbati ambas feel de akade chaboria. So if you ask where even the little money we used came from, it came from young men who did not give out of abundance, but because they believe. You see, so amamuka afada agabo urido mande agata manegas uride magata se agata mande zurarte. Aslenri obike your way. You fukami vote magite ini pipiri nzia kuwa ko. Basa ne kore kamini sende nze majeba erugo sende ne kalko ele laf kalto nze fe media chisu failed ya. You have to deliver.
So pressure is there now.
The expectation on us is huge. It's huge because morally we have to deliver.
Iyo gaba dream deputy honorable Sunday yo. Alioturu ambamba. Reta waria reba ele yimvute. Talen yase you still want hearts. Gri Kongose.
Now, you man ni mukero dwesma yo. You are darne paso isi. You see beyond you have Sunday lezuro ngoni. Ba nietara yiditi. Taba nira. Ba nietara yiditi leadership priakose. Taba nira. Yes, so alioti akwela a iyo skare yo rati obi nira afade yore partly and largely because of leadership crisis or a leadership gap. So yo masim nanda ni mukere ake yo bi nze pidi nze yo adas akare pass yo adas ake bi nze. So akati feel they were almost having a heart-to-heart emotional conversation with the voters. That look, anitera eyombara da anitera mimtedi ya bi as masiva kule afazinga za ruyo. Ereta adremuka kemiruza kemida fazi femidri mvizu muzo tisi tengeji ya jesu inde. Kati adremavu tima tefera tebana kane mavu yo. Afmane muzu ibedi yari drima driedi yama pasozo yima driedi ikega yama pasozo yima driedi yo adanya adama inu fenga mare votidi. Ba nenga emetote fe ime ije misiraya. Metote fe misabu nzota next time ikemu to mavu campaign ya ingana na mavu sabu ni expecte kubene. Avarangazira. Avarangazira. It's a time no matter but you are central ke vote for senders.
Yeah.
Vote angry then when su alpha waziri mesu central. The mavu sender yo. The mavu sender yo. So I think the message was so clear. So I think it was the clarity of our thought and the purity of our intentions.
Now, Anidiko, whether you came across this, but one of your political sentiments or message against you, Chidimare, has been the issue of Barifa. As in your nyaku vlere kangagara nyaku mandika yo Barifa ne banga pate. Ayo minute sonzi yo madira ringoni and ikadi mwagara Barifa ne bae para bae manyaku bae para inza mariyo dinyawre.
Our four if I'm yo amana tiri anvela makuja gwitri kuyo always campaign disiru mani zuazile mi again yo mi address jua the rest mi address juako the was amba pa mi dress na reason the zaros. Some of these were really unfounded sentiments meant to win votes because iyo Barifa made pasi masimote kumya sikadi yesu mvala akademo krekresi Barifa mde mare boare mi asima suku okoya maybe you am ra lorea Barifa adini ARUA city mapalako Barifa ni National Forestry Authority mapala Barifa ma land title NFF kan ko National Forestry Authority vo me azito lingo ko yala taba ma Barifa ba lufe din ni ko kata adre pazarote paro NFM madria ovun ARUA city meya madria ko bazi masimot irizoria asile zamani yo ba mare de manvu ozizu ba yini ga ite manvu di padalere yo bazi mazimo tiyo laresiko am opovina mani yo akatoa mufisi surati barifan uzu fezo bazidri asu barifa ovuni meya mufisi mapala ko barifan National Forestry Authority mapala teba drinon bazi biji barifan ya yo vote ndazo yozo ko yo a badila e ka vote fe mandre ko bangemi barifan dute and this sentiment has been very strong. I think what people mean is that but big next time amvudu yani bazi chomi amvudu ni dresi resume beva kokoro kan kom ata kadar gamete irati da leniko akavena europea ngavena fadara ala huko banga ne mvuze pa arudi yako te bazi ma ayu vina nguba populate the vote ndazo ko asino be mislead information moke course so that sentiment has been baseless, has been unfounded. And I think the people debunked it through their votes. Because man be muriam yobo la da be kizi idere ya dania. Eba pin yo midri ba de mi si bare fandu. Ba de mi si amamvo pa de idere ya dania. Afadi bi ka de ya dania ko ba ze mo le obi yo lerse ko.
Kontra bwala enzo amadri yo iniri maria. Vote ndeba bendere orusule. Declaration de remo parido or mayo tuduazi yes or BTC as because close to midnight.
Yeah.
How were those 2 nights, my friend?
Those 2 nights can best be described as interesting if I am being diplomatic. But if I'm not being diplomatic, I think those 2 nights were ugly. I realized that the NRM primary elections were full of irregularities to the extent that people almost averted the will of the people. Luckily for us, the young people refused for that to happen. The result by no zare. Because polling station abaka result announceable, registrar ni mood declaration form be alo. Result ada be duniere. Then me agent in mu deara form be alo. Result be duniere. The registrar ni mu deara form DG NRM office tally room wadi. Misu result me even form deara ndo registrar ni jiri ndo. Oh yes, often ango wora kutangu mingi maria. Registrar ni jiba ni mu laate la ndo. Mi votandra mi agent ni tendo. So akandra agata gamile kasi ko and kandra yo let itoni yo leria ikude ne ko ba secretary kandra intervene ba triples da pale kweri ba vote la ereta kelele ambamba ba titi be do dika ba ereta kemble pere be mupi election result announce pidi ba NRM su election supervisor Westnile city and bazi te yandra ba poso madilero de ataba so ezuara. So this is the extent to which there were irregularities. But now, I do not say this to tarnish names. I know we are a growing democracy and we are not yet perfect. An election is free and fair, not free and perfect. I hope wasimane barekeni kuyo party amadre angeri awade ninga yo etrus yepidi du etetaro yo tozu election chikadi organize better. Asibaza madri irizore be yo onze kinyade ngapidi bo authority de ngaba de hold accountable. Asibaza madri asubaka ba ledi kudani ngaba de party maruizara agube vote ndoni ele result ndo la nsi di yongo leria. So leta ba authority de me hold ba ledi accountable. Iyo lerma yani dika kuban askonsi minga party maruiza parmi ngabe bikiyo bibi wazile bakiyo mita emi ni agara bangami rula raya ine afalere kargo NRM temi ni awadi ma vote di ofunte genuine kuba oguti ale ni atiba pam mi ataba NRM de yo lerenze afale ruza la folo mo kako lete party ru amade concerned ama ko yere maza anora fa ne yero dini ni ku do na fa mo kaniko Yovoni afamu keniku mama koyo de maza. Be de maza ko iseleris aluria ba opobe party di Maria di. Ma u yetus yepidi yetetaru motu election mu pere tikaben. Irizoria be tus yo de trobadi mama kuma mudani ko party meji to book mama hold the accountable. Otherwise be ma sininga su be nga di party di kuspa tesi su bolere nga fura. Ma ini ma funere ko ika eyo asasi eyo ne yaruzore alo pote mar male ba mingi pari aguna do mungiri male problem na de ti the problem na de ti ba yo do problem ti ba ko de na ne ko ma yori excuse ro ko ba mo bi eyo lere maza ko nyiri de bi kadre amadre waro amadre war ba ko ko zika meti ba zika ika million bira
ba yo gute
peppers ni ali mi ko ne ko korora tedi mungu edera yufu edera okwe edera zimbila ngbo te ko kodiri mungu mere kana ba de drennes tedi ini bi ya dre waro
so lolo ti lima aliembata bele su lolo re ya de na mbe rizure ayo mede ganji ode madria na ko banto to mene vote be ba di madria re ngoye ndeni anji ode ayo mene game suke mbata ro ti mikle madria re ngoye
yo mani su yo malemba taro yalo that if the will of the people is strong enough, it cannot be averted. If the people speak too loudly, then their voices will be heard. Secondly, it is not enough to vote. You also have the responsibility as the voter to protect your vote so that your will counts. You can vote better, can be a coup. That's a coup. Mama lame vote la andra mini berle. Iyo nazori ikadra gupa sopri au kamedri vote febo responsibility mini angiri vote ya guni famiri di magita zo. Lelo mi otumi alo vote suzuku mi otumi vote mi bebora magita zo. Asko se ba oro abiri ya gata adres. Ba oro pasko na abiri ya gata adres agriculture nda agazo. Ini ni bazo di yele mwa gangware ko. Au kamedri vote febo erimi responsibility morally agurema vote magitezo opoti ura timinitwe gazurares nazoria yomani oni mbata arafa ba liar ikadere aguni yo adanze ikadere aguni mi asinze ikadere aguni yo zala lomiti ke minzer kanga mi asia da sende kokoro ruwe kokoro orodi kokoro aguni medre vote fe e odimani ga amar vote bale madrier den. Hello, we have only won the battle. We haven't won the war. We still have the general elections to come. I am appealing to the young people that we do not get overly excited and lose sight of the fact that we still have even the big election to come in January. I am counting on your same resolve. I am counting on your same commitment to pull off what you just pulled a few days ago. I am counting on the genuineness of the hearts of the people of Arua City to still continue to see into what we stand for, not what we have with us, or not what we have in our hands. Now to the young people. I am extremely humbled by what you did. I am extremely humbled by your trust, which I said is very unprecedented. Send the cocoa awadi if you school so awadi ma so pe you america lang be madulia niria mungu mere midini ala even you amini kuyo azia madri me be dengar and then I will turn and then ga iku adia madri me be angry then the gadri balos asi bazamane ba a ita madri be duare kini mbalos minga fure mini futurusi ata giti be nyanyaro anve yozu kuyo vote andra mane benera ma primary election yadi ama be dika mbalusi ama ginire te banga asili amad de la vote ro amanga pastor ni be amanga office do te tuolu me make ni promise azambo ne ko manga ye ne ne ko malu promise ni make ifir aluria amanga zidinga ni be tuolu abianda vote ni be tuolu dire baro ate vote magi ni be tuolu ay ko wari en razu ni be tuolu amanga vote girbe amanga zidinga obi be tuolu.
Okay.
Asizuria emingadre masi afusa emingadre masi afusa warfosu
Arfato de kapoda dunga sebo e ba ni tozo gata evler fezo discussion azina tivler ma dia korotia mante yoborle fast stuff tivler denga lo ni ambondi nere erga paridu mbalo se lidu sirisi o tite dozo sa avoid ma de zipere mbalo se de ngoni
So we just won the battle. The war is still ahead of us. So as a team, we're not sitting back. We won't rest. We are starting off immediately. That is our plan because it's just 6 months from now when the next election will be taking place. So as a team, we are basically kicking off here, proceeding straight, targeted January.
Okay. Toko azgazriazia eritoito to kwa razia kala fazer toko azritoito ina suwa riona bitso ri gora gavla rayora toko na robida iresirna eritowi erdele radio parties ayo arfo radio ertas inda mozu arbe Okay. Arfato da roza singazo da matako wa vawadia ama simu askidi uri azkusama abra totea mara te waraga madria do ko ri tre madria ivasi alenia do Patrick Ngazo Vatican City Jofia dia kini. Thanks for the golden chance given to the voice of the youth and stepping stone for young blood citizens of Arua City in the mayor sheet position. Otherwise, I only summarize the victory over the biblical book of Proverbs 29 verse 4. Can you read it? You will know why people give chance for you. Otherwise, he's a daily listener. Arfoto, mineba vawa. That's the radio parties. Awane. Okay. Okay. Okay, I thought to me about what I say. Some of the Totemara, Alendeka Chiba Towidi, fair Honra Budri, Ernitozu, ima message, ima senior pedo, a passes the Gapodia Conga John de Corbendini, Hora Bukari Budika.
Our four, so baby do over Bataraba, yo, Alipidi Madria, I think of Ba. You tell your money, you must see and Gazu Bobitilosi. If you zo siko track, it's as well Yozu. Voted Mavudia Mega Tebaros in the Renzako. Okoya Rale Tovo, Sido Koro, Ma, then I put a flower for Mungo Koroko. Mante Joborle, you are Marina Doria, Bandre, your rally, Andra, Weria Toko, if they are Cocoras Consi, Eriandre, you are the bed or being or Kunako Lenny. Ili Mari Majosi, Aliu Kanko, Senegal have your Majosi, Teddy, but by any choice, you're the Kozu dia. To look beyond them should not be taken for granted. I thank God for that. Ale di resort our forfeit ba woro NRM wa city ya deni. E betro vote amadre be vote amadre kwa afemete our fangro ko yera mini fuzo anve muzu vote bezoro si. E resort mini mesle tsazo vote mini da seresi. Nazo ba dia matiba di idriko. You an me an yanda de mini me riare ko. You andra ba ku you eledri anve. Iyo badi ninze ameli tsakura yo andre mi fadama na ita akole. Asleleri mi umvuma seizi maziyo mi umvu kole sararia dile bas mon kamere fendi angiria kan ko weria kole sa afata ban leri I rizoria yo na fadama na ita akole asleleri buku Samuel dro ko ya chapter mudini ya za vase alopere aro mungu penda ma profeta Samuel mati aku yeseneria ope pezo imuzu suru Israel maditezo beji ndanzi yesedidi ya azir alebe zobe orobe mungu gaoros Mungu kenele David ero aisi omene kwaro kabilo tepina mo so du dunia me chopironi fin Mungu uwuru niye tarabata na badu ruosiku elesiku zosiku teomis azini asis ma afebdi meta warfo angiri mini yuiri nerars ale warfo azire fe ti mardi ni anti de yowe sande kokoro meto di mi olarus woro kote ni mira ba titi amana warfo fezu awarfo fezo di bezi pia masi ati pia mabe afa were ma road owozo half kauto ni half mudini ya di you free meeting you center sande ko korebane meeting mabute sande nze mabesa madie let eno ko politics ya ko back in politics ma meeting yo ba enve sande ba sande barne ko odai ma half mudite ni muzo aso ndase nzel oto ni you center da e ba mesa madie e go akundo e enve pass azade enve pere e wota si de pass sande ma road ba ma mesa madie ma candidate ma tidusu bene ma da fa medra warfo mongo mo onvi midin ala warfo fe yufu ARUA dini emene yo nzezu uluko ambosi ba mere mi benersi yo irizoma lenze awarfo mavutiere yo irizoma lenze awarfo mavutiere ale asindiza imani bia iborle zotane lo zora katiti aluria zota me wonze akadra wazaro yo ndima yo ale te yo sadis dika alo aivu ovni aringa maduini ko aringa of terego madui ko terego of marata madui ko marata of vora madui ko vora of made madui ko made of kakwa madui ko kakwa of aluru madui ko amadui ba de be woro de na okoya realioni yirizore azoni nazore ni ekoni afade yo tsepera nyangboro ni ametiti afasudi majos asizure ale tuta I baba dani bezendi amani biria tiria mvenale aka yo azinze kan kama tibare mazika yo azinze kamie signora kerekris mungu marusi etu amara overa sili amane ko yo ler yezo bande adezo ba dan risi udo sivini campaign der maria be masin ditu be masin dinga badi wazi tielu kuru ledi nzera mani nyira mani nikuri pie ma paria ti madre ma paria ma I ba horovo tuta yors ale vini yo ma pareti ma madre ma paria a trovini bazi kandra sa jadra madrid bazi nze kama signora ale ti atriyodira ale di mama niri na mana pastor zo my two worthy opponents his worship the honorable Wadisam Nyakua and the Makao the honorable Afeku Isakato. I want to commend you two. I want to recognize your abilities. I want to recognize your experience, your valuable experience, and I want on this show in the kindest terms possible extend an olive branch to you too, that I am extending my young hand to you, my two elder brothers, for the opportunity to work together, that will gladden my heart if you two will join me in the pursuit of the thing that I know you and I stand for. Whereas we have been opponents, we are only political opponents, not enemies. And whereas we are political opponents, I know you two wanted even the best for our city. And whereas the people in NRM might have picked me to represent their flag, many of them saw what you were saying, and many of them voted. Like His Worship was voted by 20,000 members of the NRM, and that will not be taken for granted, which is the basis on which I want to, in the kindest terms possible, extend an olive branch to you too, and request to you that if you can find it somewhere within your heart, it will please, I'm sure not just me, but the people of our city, to see us work together in any way possible.
Okay.
Thank you, Suso.
Arfoto Honorable ALIONZI Lawrence Dangote Shia Mari Mazanebo azine eyorne gemu pidie daleri madrianza vena mari yoradene tia badija mantino pimi badi yo mitie sizure.
Suso me mutade mani lo baru irwaru mini vote lerenda zumi ba ini ko yozuko askuni we namba angres vote al kalidu nisu turna kalezi nisu mani sudi baru de feka mani baru da yomina wa ko angere idozu budikalia pere utamchakwa idozu wata pere marata marua aliba ayomina wa ko angere imini vote erase sa tere kabine ya ta mabine mu daladi ma iya maduro goro sinanda ma ile ba titi tualu ba muga meta mburuvu kona buku yokini baka titi tualu beto ndiri amu idura akata aru mutu alu amandiri amu ruedu amerawa aru malia toto radene awade fe mini ambo mini boti berarsi hani bular kabine cha ba mu bini be alu le ba mba bintani ode inikini le amama titi tualu de yo azingazo ewu amabudi yanis
Lene
askuni amakoko re udi yare yo awade fo ambo radio Pacis ni ire na my hosti uwa normali ama musa awade fo ba manu boti be bidini rarese team tama amadri ni awade fe mini ambo. We had very many teams, so we are so grateful to you for your efforts, for everything you did. Ba mani zito izibade awade fe mini ambo ona bosa oro yo nivu da ara kadoba itani ni kubuti madeda mani zitasi.
Okay. Arfoto ebile muzo information isa yazo amapie duarar samarifutika odu velar sedene nyofudi ate.